All right. Hello, everybody. Today is Thursday, May 2nd. This is MS Office Hours. My name is Heather Cox, and with me today is...
I'm Andrea Singh-Rio, and we are super excited to have all of you with us today. We have TJ from our product group with some super exciting announcements that I know you're all on the edge of your seats waiting to hear. So we're going to hand it over to you, TJ, and take it away.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks, everybody, and thanks for having me. So I wanted to talk today about kind of our LMS integrations, existing and futures, and kind of our strategy there with LMS partners. So I know, many of the schools on the call here, many or most, I'd say, especially in higher ed, but, in K-12 as well, that use an LMS. So we're talking Canvas, Schoology, Blackboard, D2L, Moodle, et cetera. Those LMSs all support standards like LTI and other integration points that they have implemented with Microsoft products. And I want to go through some of those today, specifically focused on the LTIs, the products that we deliver from the product group team. So I'll take one step back and kind of introduce my role. So I work on the EGU product group team. So we're an engineering group in Microsoft, kind of a small one that's 100% education focused. So we put all the good things into the EDU SKUs, we like to think, or the things for EDU in Office. So with those A SKUs, A1 through A5, these LTIs I'll show today, as well as our assignments app for Teams and school data sync and other pieces kind of all come with that. And that's the greater EDU product group and engineering group that works on those pieces and parts. So back to the LMS integrations, I'm going to share a deck here. I'm going to take you through a deck, which is kind of boring, and then I'll take you through some actual product demo to kind of show you these things in action, or at least bits of them, the existing pieces. Let me go here. All right, PowerPoint is started up there. Let me know if everybody can see that, or if anybody's having trouble, let me know. So I'm going to kick off with just kind of a positioning. We talk about this as being better together. So the purpose of none of these things is to replace your LMS or the things you subscribe to those services for. The LMS still plays a very important role in the organization, we understand, and it becomes in many cases the one place to go. So what we're looking to do is supplement that. As you know, the LMSs don't have things like voice and video built in, or chat in many cases, and other stuff. So that is where Microsoft's going to continue to focus. So best-in-class tools for real-time collaboration, productivity, video conferencing, et cetera. And the critical foundation of classroom management still belongs to the LMSs in terms of everyday assignment flows and other things. And we can augment those in really powerful ways. We're not the only tools out there doing this, by the way. You have this interaction with your content systems today and other pieces. So bringing M365 to the party, so to speak, with your LMS in the classroom. That kind of looks like this as a breakdown. So this is very imperfect, and you might balance things, to one side or the other. But as you reimagine teaching and learning or progress there in the classroom, again, the learning management system is going to continue to provide those foundational pieces, and we're going to get more and more focused on the things we do and we do best as a platform, and growing our kind of AI chops and AI-powered learning insights and experiences. So we'll talk a little bit about those accelerators and other things we've announced today that hopefully you've heard about it, but if not, happy to go deeper there and kind of tell you how we're going to how we intend to bring all that to the table for you. So moving on to principles, we know we want to provide collaboration asynchronously and synchronously. So whether you start in Office or start in the LMS, and we know predominantly teachers and students are starting the LMS, especially for daily assignments and what to do, the to-do list for students, that's super important. And communication. We know email is still a factor, other things, but how do we bring all these things together, especially Teams and Teams meetings, modern collaboration. And how we save you time. So saving time for educators and for students, and increasing productivity and accessibility is another key factor here that we'll cover. So without further ado, we're gonna dig into this. So this is kind of like a nice little map slide here about what exists today and then where we're going with all this. So on the left here, starting on the left here, we have more of the foundational LTIs, OneDrive LTI, which is of course M365 files. I always felt like that one was a little bit misnamed, but OneDrive is where your files reside, where they're stored, where you get stuff from. But then what that LTI actually does is something pretty magical. It kind of builds a SharePoint site that's one-to-one with your LMS courses, the LTI context ID there in your LMS courses, and properly orchestrates and permissions files that are added to the class from your instructors, orchestrates turn-ins of submissions of files from your students, and puts them all down on SharePoint with proper permissions. And so remember that, put a pin in that, because as we come back to how Copilot and other things work in your organization, that becomes an extremely powerful notion. Then we have Teams classes and Teams meetings. Those are two LTIs delivered by the Teams organization. Meetings brings a modern meetings agenda view, one-click join, one-click access to recordings and transcripts, right inside your LMS and focused to the course. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Classes brings that Teams collaboration environment. So Surface is kind of a nice little Teams tile inside of the LMS that will tell you, give you notifications on when something's there to see, or be able to send a chat to that team, kind of integrating collaboration. And class notebooks, again, magical version of OneNote, where that hub and spoke of teachers that can see all the students tabs. Students can only see their own or shared stuff from the teachers. Becomes a wonderful tool for journaling in English classes or music or math, where untraditional canvases can be used to notate and other things. Works really well with inking. And we find that bringing that right into the LMS, pinning it to the LMS course again right there where you can find it, is super powerful. Flip, Reflect is a new one. Flip for obviously bringing video expression to your courses. Reflect is one of the newest ones in the kind of shipped and out there list. Reflect is social emotional check-in. I'll cover that. So a little bit of psychology brought to your classes, if you will. And then Immersive Reader, that one is not an LTI. That's the only one on this pane that's not an LTI. But many of the LMSs have integrated it. And then we also have it integrated in the Office experience. So as you bring these files in the LMS together, you kind of get accessibility across, or accessible experiences, immersive experiences across with Immersive Reader. And then GitHub Classroom and LinkedIn Learning. If you haven't seen these or seen them, I'm not going to cover them today. But GitHub, for your coding classes and other things, GitHub has GitHub Classroom that can partner with your LMS, and LinkedIn Learning brings those resources through your LinkedIn Learning subscription for PD and development to staff and others. So in the what's next column, this is where it gets really cool and interesting. So we're investing a lot in AI-powered learning accelerators and insights. So you've seen or heard about Reading Progress, and we just did pilots for speaker progress, presenter progress. So speaker progress and speaker coach is out there for preview right now. We've had Reading Coach launch in preview as well. And these are both available, or all available, will be all available. We've also announced ones coming for math. We have Search Coach out there, 4 distinct ones, and I'll cover these later, so don't worry about keeping track of them. But just remember this: they have 2 distinct, real profiles to them. There's a version of these that will be assignments. So we call those progress activities, where an instructor is giving kind of a consistent piece of material and monitoring kind of where everybody is in their journey. They can see history, and across the class to kind of figure out where gaps are or which students are ahead or behind. And then we have coaching. That's more kind of self-focused, but we call it moderated coaching, because we're going to allow instructors to put some guardrails around it, or kind of align those things and have them work together. So in the what's next column here, we're excited to announce that the very next thing you'll see from us is a Teams assignments LTI. So what this is taking, you've probably heard about all that goodness we do on our Teams assignments, and maybe say, yeah, that's over there in Teams as a separate assignment list, and I do my work in Canvas or Schoology every day, or Blackboard. This allows you to bring those assignments into your LTI 1.3 Advantage certified LMS platform. So that means that you can pick a Teams assignments, create a Teams assignment, use all of our things that are in there, and multiple things together, right? So build whatever rich Teams assignments you have, share them through classwork, everything we've announced we can do in Teams assignments, all that stuff that you see fly by in Mike Tholfsen's feed and everything like that, the 22 new features, this month and such are all in there. And they're all going to be leverageable, associatable with LMS assignments. So you're going to be able to pick and link one of those assignments and then bring the grades back to the LMS. And that gives you access to those accelerators, the progress assignments I mentioned, whiteboard, auto-graded forums, OneNote pages, individual pages of assignments, AI-generated rubrics and instructions in our grading flow. And I'll loop back on that later. But that's a super exciting announcement. We have a link to sign up for the preview for that, or to sign up to be notified when it's ready. You're not going to be opted into anything, but if you do sign up at this link down here, aka.ms, LMS preview, we'll get back to you when we have more information on that LTI, as well as LTIs for the coaching experiences. That's user-led self-coaching on reading and math that we intend to ship very soon. And these will be in preview soon, I should say. So let me go back a minute to what already exists there to make sure everybody knows about what you can kind of go get today and bring into your environment. So single sign-on, again, not an LTI, but something that all the LMSs I mentioned support. So this allows you to use your Entra ID credentials and a familiar login dialog to get into the LMS and then seamlessly through SSO into any of the experiences I'm talking about here. So all the LTIs that you're going to see in this support SSO from those credentials. So if you have it on the front, if you get in the front door of the LMS with Entra, you're straight through to these things. Otherwise, they will pop up their own login and use that Entra dialog to get folks in and do single sign-on between them. So if you're logged into one, your credentials are in the browser and the other one will recognize that. And if anything, just make you click to get in to choose which account you're going to use. So creating assignments and course content throughout OneDrive, the Teams ones I mentioned, Reflect check-ins, OneNote class notebook, and I'll go through these very briefly now. So OneDrive LTI, I mentioned this one. This is kind of bread and butter in terms of files, being part of the everyday assignment or class collaboration experience. So we, in the various LMSs, all of them have some concept of an assignment or a rich text area for announcements, assignments, other things. So usually in that rich text area, there's a menu item where you can add those LTI tools. And we have a placement there in Canvas for Schoology, for Canvas, as I mentioned, assignments and announcements and discussions and other things where you can use that rich text editor, even quizzes and calendar items. In Schoology, it would be the materials list and assignment dialogues. In Blackboards, it's class content. So LMS has called these things different things, but basically anywhere you can use LTI content, you can use the OneDrive LTI. And there's two real flows here. One is or three, I should say. One is the teacher kind of sharing out materials. So one or more things. You can embed or link a Word doc, an Excel file, a PowerPoint, anything like that for the class to see. So you're an editor, or any teacher in the class is an editor, and can change that file, but the students have it for reference, right? Can view it online right there in the LMS embedded or link to it. And have access to those things. So teacher might link a PowerPoint and a video and a PDF and two spreadsheets, right, to a science class. And then, the second mode of this is in Canvas specifically, we support with this LTI an assignment flow. So their external assignment tool allows you to pick a Word doc or an Excel doc or a PowerPoint doc and make it the assignment, the template. So each student automatically gets a copy, they fill it, they submit it, and it goes to the Canvas speed grader for grading. Schoology has a version of that with their own resource plugin, and Canvas and Blackboard I know can do similar flows as well. Canvas has one unique flow that the others don't that I'll mention for OneDrive LTI, where you can pick a file for what they call their collaborations, which is kind of like a wiki. So you pick the group of students that are going to collaborate on it, you put the doc out there, and they all get to party on it in a collaborative in a way for co-authoring. And these are, I should mention two things about these experiences. One is you get the modern OneDrive picker with this. So this is where the name of the LTI comes in, OneDrive LTI. That picker includes the quick access list now. So pinning those teams, like your staff team, like where you collaborate on your content, everything is possible. So it's right there at your fingertips every time you pop up that picker and go to grab something for tonight's assignment or tomorrow night's assignment. that picker is also, your same view in your other OneDrive. So if you go to your OneDrive and My Files and stuff, you'll see the same things there. This will look similar to the picker that pops up in Teams when you go pick a file now. So it's the modern experience. And the second thing I mentioned, super important, is all those files are going to a SharePoint site that we maintain and establish behind and associated with the Canvas course. So you can, again, manage those SharePoint sites with the same life cycle that you do your Canvas courses. And the fact that those files are down there and orchestrated and permissions correctly is awesome, because when you license M365 Copilot, that secure version of Copilot that operates inside your environment and make sure your data stays there and everything else, it respects the permissions on Office. It will find the files it's supposed to find for your classes, not find the ones that not, so you can ask it intelligent questions and it can use those files as a part of its data grounding to answer questions or to locate things for you. And again, when you're using this LTI, I can point out that when you pop out that Word doc to go edit, if you have a Copilot license, that Copilot button is right there in the Word doc for teachers and for students who are licensed for M365 Copilot. So I'll move on from there to just say, well, actually, I want to show you something really quickly, because I just don't, I love showing this because I don't think folks quite get it's files, we use those all the time. Number one is this is a consistent experience in all the LMSs. So I have screenshots from Canvas, Blackboard, Schoology, D2L here of the OneDrive picker, popping up in the nav view, and it's the same component delivered by Microsoft, a consistent experience. So what I'm talking about is available, across the LMSs to you in a consistent way. And I'll give you an idea here. I'm going to share my screen super quick, and I'll show you this thing work in Schoology. I think this is, Schoology really fast. So this is a course that I simply populated with these files. And I think I just wanted to give you kind of the impact of when a teacher embeds a file, as a course material for a student here. Or the description of a course in Canvas or in Blackboard, or a piece of content, shared with the course in Blackboard. You get the real Office viewer with the PowerPoint right there navigable, right inside of the LMS. User does not have to leave. So powerful for K-12 students and others just to locate stuff and have it right there at their fingertips to use. And it works with PDFs and videos as well. So how cool is it that you can just take the video of the class recording from that day that went to your OneDrive automatically and select it to be in tonight's homework assignment as a resource, right in line to play it in full color in our player with captioning and everything else that's part of our video player, in the LMS, and adjust settings and share and everything else that you'd have available there. So these are very impactful. It works for all the Office docs and PDF and video. And again, you get this nice, very streamlined viewer experience right inside the LMS with real Excel, real PowerPoint, real Word doc. And again, where Schoology and other LMSs have the accessibility experience, our immersive reader built right in, so do the Office products and viewers. So flipping to those immersive views is kind of, it's turtles all the way down, so to speak, in terms of access to these tools and accessories that your students and teachers find valuable. So just wanted to show you that very quickly. I'm going to flip back to the presentation here. Not so quickly, if I can find the meeting. Sorry about that. I lost my window. So I'm gonna go back to the presentation here and go a little bit faster through it, so we have time for lots of questions. All right, so we're resuming here. These are the ones I described a little bit. OneNote class notebooks, again, pinning that notebook there, and users just getting right into their notebook that's associated with this course. So for journaling, I said in English class, probably the most prominent usage we've seen. But it's an amazing, for users who know and love OneNote, super valuable. And again, can be pinned right in there in the LMS. This is, undoubtedly the OneNote that you're going to use for this course and your tab within it. The Teams collaboration one I mentioned, this is available today for Canvas. Has an integration with Teams that you can turn on and automatically sync a team with the Canvas course. Blackboard and D2L also have integrations. You can check their sites for those, and we have them documented on our site as well. I'll share some links for these. And we're working on, as we're going forward, I'll announce how we're going to do this in the future with other LMSs that don't have a built-in Teams rostering feature. You can also use SDS, our tools, to roster teams in parallel with your classes and use this tool. So this just brings it's the simplest LTI in the world. It's like, wow, an LTI that just shows a tile for a team. But that is, again, unambiguously the team to go to collaborate for this course. It's a team that's tied to the course with the LTI context ID. We're surfacing, any reminders or notifications rather to go see there. That bell icon will light up with a number when you have something waiting there, and you can click the button on the lower right there to send a post to the team, to the general channel, or you can jump into the team and get deeper into it. So I kind of refer to this as kind of like Facebook and Messenger. If the LMS is Facebook and there's your feed and your assignments and everything, sometimes you just need to get in and chat with somebody or connect with a user. So that's the Messenger part. That is the Teams classes LTI that you can jump into to collaborate deeply within a team. Moving on to the meetings thing I mentioned, this is the Teams V2 web-based agenda view. We brought that into the LMS course. And it's, again, contextual to the course. So the meetings that appear here that were scheduled here are the ones that show here. You don't get noise from your other classes or anything else. When you come to this LMS course, you see that list of meetings that were scheduled here by the teacher or by other students for you. You see meetings that you have scheduled with the edit button to change settings and edit or jump right in and join when it's time. If you're invited to any meeting by the instructor, if you've enabled for other students, for aides or anything else, you see all the meetings that you've been invited to. When a meeting is done and and I should mention one tie-in here, when you go create a new meeting, there's a special button here, very small, but it says add entire class. When you've installed that other integration I've talked to, have a team syncing from Canvas, Blackboard, D2L, or very soon other LMSs, you've connected a team to the course, that button lights up and you can pull in the membership of the team to a meeting invite, cut and paste into the to-line very easily. You also have a drop down for channels. So channel meetings are super powerful for classes and office hours and other things that happen in a class team associated with an LMS. And your associated teams channel will show up first in the list, so you can't miss it. So two special features there. Again, only meetings scheduled here appear here. You go look at your master Outlook calendar or Teams calendar, you're going to see, feed the dog in the morning, lunch with staff in the afternoon, and all your class stuff. But when you come to the course and when your students come to the course, they're going to see unambiguously just the things scheduled for this course. Moving on, I'm going to go to the Reflect LTI. So Reflect LTI mentions the newest one. So Reflect is a wonderful tool for creating check-ins for students and staff and others, asking questions that can give you clues for how people are feeling and how they might be performing as well. And actionable insights is what this is all about. So the team has done an amazing job of bringing resources to bear as well. So if you go to reflect.microsoft.com, you will see a tab right at the top for resources. There are presentations, ways to be more proactive about check-ins and the actions you can take with them. And we've done a lot of work here to assemble these things. These are based in psychology and other things that we've had experts advise on to help guide you. And I think it can be really helpful tool. And we've had some amazing results and stories with this on how folks have used it. The monsters are quite cute. You might think this might not apply to me. I'm in higher ed and we have adults, but you know what? Folks connect with them and it works. So just try it. We find we get stopped a lot at kind of the admin level, like, oh, this is going to be too cutesy for our students and stuff. But you know what? When you use it in a class, we use it with staff at work all the time here, and it lands just great. And it really does give you those insights. As a matter of fact, people are more likely to respond when they feel comfortable doing so. And we'll talk about that accessibility a little bit more. So Canvas and other tools have and other LMSs have built the immersive reader right in there for many of their text areas and other things, especially in assignments where students have to access or understand things. So check those out in Canvas, Schoology, Blackboard. And then again, this also works in our M365 apps when you bring them into the class as well. And then finally, I'm going to get to the good part here, learning accelerators. So these are a wonderful set of tools. There was a bunch of this talked about at the last Reimagine event. So there's recordings out there for that where folks talking about much deeper experiences here. I'm just going to review them really quick. Reading, math, reflect, which we always seen for well-being, speaker, and search. The progress mode of this, the coaching personality of these. Progress is for assignments and teachers keeping track of insights across a class and across a number of assignments longitudinally. Coaching is more about self-focused practice. And we're bringing these things, skip ahead here, to the LTIs in two forms. One is going to be the Teams Assignments LTI that we expect to preview over the next month here. And I'll share the sign up link for this. That'll allow you to do those classified assignments, bring it right inside the LMS. So you have them there. And then coaching LTIs will be for self-coaching and just show you a quick idea of what this is going to look like. So the educator would be able to connect the class team or use one of those automatic sync mechanisms to automatically do it for them from Canvas, Blackboard, Schoology, or sorry, D2L. In Schoology, they could use our UX here to connect a team that's already created through SDS or any other means, even just self-created. And then they would be able to pick a team's assignments, either existing one or create one, and link it. That assignment can have anything in it that you want that we can already do with team's assignments. So if you want to learn more about team's assignments, we can share some links on that, everything you can do there. The student gets a very nice launch experience for that assignment, can understand their progress through it from that LTI launch in the LMS. They undertake the assignment, they complete it, and then the teacher, the grades are automatically linked. So if it's auto-graded, it immediately goes back. If the teacher goes in and grades it, those grades get pushed back as the teacher punches them in. Or if it's not graded, we just get a completion status sent through. And that is reflected in the LMS gradebook, which is the master for the class. Here are the key links. So admin docs, user docs, sign up for the preview. Please sign up. We'll let you know when it's ready. We will not push anything to you unless you tell us to. Come to our office hour. So we have our LTI focused office hour. So this is a group of LMS folks. Steve and others on the group can endorse this, I'm sure, or maybe not.
I was going to say, I think Steve Lane might be chief of staff for that one as well.
That's right. That's right.
He's always
First and
checking
third Thursday.
that Samantha is making her waffles. As
Samantha
Samantha
hasn't had a waffle in 2 years, she says. So.
Oh, well, that's sad. That was her move to New York. She did not bring her waffle maker with her, which again, yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Any questions, keep them flowing in the chat. I'll turn my attention there and let Heather and Andrea take control again.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks for being here. We'd love to continue to have you come on a regular basis, TJ. I think LTIs are really important for this community in the higher ed space and how they connect, because everybody's got an LMS or something important these days to connect those two. So thanks so much for being here, and thanks all of you for being here. As we get to start thinking about the end of the year, we are looking for a couple folks to consider presenting. So if you are interested in presenting next week or any of the Thursdays following May, early June, reach out to me directly and I will get you on the schedule as we wrap that up. And a couple of you have sent us emails, so expect to hear from us in the next hour or so as we look for next week and getting everything wrapped up.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I will stop the recording and kick everybody out. So we will see you next week, everybody.